biblical project.
Who will this affect first and foremost?
Half of humanity, yes. Moreover, they have also implanted demons here. The recent presidents of America are actually not human, but they also have plans now. 2 years ago, they received the conditions. What conditions are needed to enter the new world? Transformations and, so to speak, oppression have affected not only the Earth as a planet, but also the entire universe. That is, the entire universe was sick, and it was necessary to correct everything on a very large scale. We observe all of this only on Earth, but we must not forget that Earth has been a ruler of the universe before, and it seems that it is meant to be this way. Therefore, it is very important to understand what is specifically happening here. For tens of thousands of years, parasites have reigned here, occupying the Earth. This was achieved because the immune system was, so to speak, literally at a tribal level, and it was possible to break it. And the forces that are here, I would say, indeed command us, are civilizations that are higher than us in spiritual development. These snake-like serpentoids are also commonly called nagas. Probably, if you are in general acquainted with Indian literature, they usually have such blue bodies. In addition, there are insectoids, which are mainly spiders and mantises, and reptilians. Reptilians are indeed currently the most widespread here. The last presidents of America are, in fact, not humans, but reptilians. Reptilians possess very strong magical abilities, meaning they can present themselves in any form. But if you have perception or vision like this in a way that allows you to look this way, then you can catch the true, so to speak, being of destruction of this civilization that exists in a manner that allows you to. She has gone so far that those who still control can hardly implement their plans.
So, our civilization is being destroyed by reptilians.
Yes, this civilization was created by parasites, which is why it is being destroyed. What has been done? So, humanity has been turned into practically animals, meaning that it has been lowered to such an extent that it can be proven that humans are irrational beings. And if that is the case, then according to the laws of the universe, anything can be done with them, which is precisely what is happening. So, what is required from a person? Negative emotions are required. The energy of negative emotions, blood, and the energy released at the moment of death. This is all the so-called gavaks, but the most vivid, representative at the level of, let's say, humanity, and not at the level of entities that we do not see. This is a biblical project. A religion has been created that has, well, kind of two faces. One face for its followers and another for those whom this religion aims to subjugate. It has only one singular goal: to conquer nations, meaning it is a religion for the oppressed. But all Abrahamic religions are distinguished by this. It doesn't matter what they are, Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, they are all the same. Before the introduction of Christianity in Rus, there was a completely different religion. It is about hope, faith, and love in Mother Jesus. There was no liturgy indeed, because the liturgy is the killing of Christ. And Christ is positioned as an enemy.
The biblical project, in fact, was conceived by those civilizations that govern us and wish to reduce us to the level of animals. I heard that by 2026, there will be some kind of huge global cleansing.
The Earth itself will have completely different higher frequency energies. And naturally, those who cannot withstand these energies simply will not be able to remain on Earth. And this change, this threshold that will allow us to remove, let's say, at least the demons from the Earth, will be reached somewhere within these, I think, approximately 2 years or so in the near future. The result will be the following. Since most people, based on the content of their energy in the soul, are half angels and half demons, they must retain their angelic traits and eliminate all demonic ones. But for that, they must work on themselves, and most people do not even want to hear anything about the transition. So, when it comes to children, I think it's a bit different. There, I believe, since the material is still quite soft from a psychological perspective, I think they will actually have different programs. So to speak, transitions. As for adult humans, this has long been known. We received the conditions that need to be met 2 years ago in order to, so to speak, enter a new world, or one could say, spiritually survive in this transition. And everything is very clear there. There should be no negative character traits. Among the positive character traits, there should be a certain set of soulful energies that represent our, I would say, creative foundation and creative possibilities. Such energies are called will forming. That is, these are energies through which one can manifest will, thought, and create form. That is, when a person can express themselves as a creator, as that which, so to speak, resembles God, the creator, and one must have a certain set of skills that will allow them to function at the necessary level in the new world, that is, to be a creator. After all, the main, so to speak, human contingent is not creators. They are still truly animals.
What distinguishes the creator?
Necessity and creativity.
Self-expression, right?
A person indeed absolutely requires creativity.
Who will this affect, first of all?
Robots.
Robots?
Of course.
How do you mean robots?
Well, about the metal parts. What? They have no evolution, so there's no point in keeping them. You just throw them away, and that's it.
Robots are people whom we will call robots.
Almost half of humanity, yes.
Can a robot do something to stay here, so to speak, with us?
And what can he do? He has no soul.
In other words, he has no chance at all.
And this is understandable because it is easier to control a machine than a living person. And also, as they say, the child of God, indeed the children of the Creator exist, and there are so-called Adamites. Well, if you have read at least the first 3 pages of the Bible, it is already written there that the Creator created for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he went to rest. And during that time, Adam was created. They also, in general, have evolutionary abilities, but their soul is the same as that of plants.
What does a soul like that of plants mean?
Fewer emotions. Quantitatively fewer emotions. Well, a person is, from the perspective of cybernetics, a finite automaton.
So positive.
He has a certain and limited and specific number of energy states in which he can exist. This is character. That is, someone has, let's say, 23 positive traits, while someone else has 30. The same is roughly true for the negative traits. Although there are supposedly 48, in reality, there are 90, and 90 different positive and negative traits exist. But we know that at the moment we are only aware of 48, the rest we don't even know. What we knew in the Golden Age, we now have no concept of. Even all the names have been lost.
So there used to be a lot more emotions.
Well, there should be 90 of them.
They still exist? We just don't call them anything.
We simply know nothing about them.
How many should there be? For example, positive and negative, for me to be able to transition?
Apparently less than 23 is not necessary. 22 is the minimum number of positive traits that should be present in a character.
Friends, I want to remind you that Leo has a lecture on how to properly make the transition. We will leave all the links below the video. Feel free to check them out. Now let's move on.
So there is a possibility that these will just be corpses that need to be buried. There is a possibility that they will be taken to some other planet by someone who brings them here, because they will not be able to exist here due to the fact that the energy of the earth will be higher. And if there are negative character traits, how would that look? Imagine that a person gains all supernatural abilities as a result of the transition.
So immortality, clairvoyance, clairaudience?
Clairvoyance, yes. Telepathy, he can feel everything. For example, we are communicating and I can sense your emotions by smell. Oh, wow. And those negative emotions, they all smell very bad. Naturally, such people will feel completely uncomfortable here. They would go anywhere just to get as far away from this place as possible. So I say, either they will take them away, or there's a third option, since we do live in a simulation, which means they could just turn them off. But what will actually happen, I do not know.
So, they can take them away, or they can just turn them off.
Yes, they can just turn it off.
And no one will notice.
How could they not notice? You will notice that a person is gone.
Will the simulation be adjusted so that we don't notice? I don't know.
You see, I don't know. The thing is, this is practically something that has never existed. So there is nothing to compare it to, and there is no similar experience, at least for the people of Earth. Perhaps the aliens that are here, so to speak, helping us, may have something, some knowledge. But so far, they have not shared it with us.
There are movies about simulation, like The Matrix, for example.
Of course.
And there, this very Matrix was already about 6 of them, I think. And at the time of the film, it is about the 6th Matrix. So I have a question. This simulation that is happening right now, you say it has happened for the first time, right?
No, I am saying that the first transition is happening. And the Matrix, it is quite definite. It is a copy of the living Matrix, but it has no energy of its own. So it is necessary to steal souls and turn them into batteries, using them as a source of energy for the life of the Matrix, which is dead. So we still have to free a bunch of souls where they are located on the moon, somewhere else, I don't know, but they are locked up somewhere. And then the Matrix, that means it will cease to exist. You see, it is still not possible to transfer control to the new world. It is still too weak. It is already growing, it is already alive, but it is not yet capable of control.
And when will he be ready?
Well, I think there is such a concept as critical mass. Yes, it will gather enough energy, enough people, enough knowledge to be able to manage. All of this can be set in motion.
Do you have any approximate estimates on the timelines?
I think this is the next year.
Oh, so this will accumulate this soon?
Yes, of course. Yes, it is absolutely clear, because everything here is determined by what energies are coming into the solar system and to the Earth. They have almost arrived from the center of the galaxy, bringing energies that allow for everything to be transformed.
In about a year to a year and a half, the light will be strong enough to hand over rule on Earth. And at this time, do those dark civilizations that created us and control us not resist?
And who asks them? They just have an energy isomite, and that's it.
So they can no longer hold power?
No. Remember what terrible plans they had. And what? Nothing was done because they couldn't. But they still have plans to create something, to make a virus that acts through water.
Is there any way to protect oneself from this virus?
You see, a person is vulnerable when they have a lot of negative energies. If you understand that the simulation is peculiar, meaning you are building your own world, and you are the master there, while this common world is the world of the Creator, it is not our world. If we want to gain something for our world, we must incorporate everything from the Creator's world into our own. And this is what the brain is engaged in. And this is such a serious matter that it has no time for thoughts. Thoughts, they are all far away in the spiritual body.
Isn't it the brain that thinks?
Well, they somehow infiltrate here in a wave-like manner in order to create this world, to create their own world again. It's not that simple. How does it happen? So the brain collects information. We have sensory organs, right? All of this is encoded and sent to the spiritual body, or one could say to the universal computer processor, where everyone has their own cell. And then a personal worldview is formed and sent to the brain. And the brain transmits this to the cellular screen. The cellular screen is the inner surface of the rotating ellipsoid that exists around a person. These are two electromagnetic ellipsoids, and they rotate in opposite directions. And on the inner screen, everything that you are, is this how we communicate? You are communicating with my image that you have constructed.
Well, yes.
I can be completely different.
100%. Can we say that the brain, in principle, does not generate thoughts? It kind of just receives them.
Well, this is a filter.
Is it processing?
This is a filter. There is something like interests, yes, that gets stuck. You could say that the wind is blowing in a certain semantic way, right? Well, something is getting stuck.
And the brain has these hooks, and it catches something there, while everything it doesn't conflict with kind of just... It flies by? Everything flies by. Yes. How does interest in what flows in this semantic stream arise at all? What is it connected to? How does it happen that I catch something while something else does not interest me?
So you are getting an education, meaning you are being taught, so to speak, to create a certain image. For example, you read a book, right? You are creating images.
Yes, of course.
And what are you doing with this piece of metal? Nothing. Everything is ready there.
Yes, if you think about it, regarding neural networks, have you heard about them now? Have they been invented?
Of course.
I have also pondered about this while sitting at home. It seems as if it takes away a person's creative essence. This is also my uniqueness, my individuality. When I come up with something myself, when I generate something on my own, this is how I express my experience. This is who I am. I created someone for this purpose, to transform my experience and create my images. The neural network essentially does this for me. It takes all the collective experience of someone else, not mine at all, and generates something from it.
The most important thing to say is this is an alien.
Yes, it doesn't matter. So, I guess I'm completely out of the loop here.
You are just a robot.
So, are neural networks making us robots?
Our civilization is such that no matter how good an idea we come up with, someone will turn it into a weapon or a means of defense against it.
Lion, how to survive in the new world? What should a person of the new time be like? How will they look? Well, look and think.
So, when we ask the question of what conditions are needed to enter the new world, it means that there are two spheres being controlled. The intellectual sphere, or in other words, the system of values, is one of the characteristics of worldview. Now I will explain what it is. And character, that is what energies a person uses in their life, meaning what they represent as an energetic, so to speak, complex. How about worldview? It is the value system, a person's relationship to the qualities of divine love. Divine love as an energy possesses a whole range of qualities. There are many of them, but the top 5 qualities are taken because all qualities have different values and are arranged in such a hierarchical order. This hierarchical series begins when speaking of the highest, with love, wisdom, diligence, responsibility, and self-assertion. Here are the 5 qualities of love, and how does a person relate to them? In what sense? What is more important to him? So for him, love must be the most important. And out of these 5, self-assertion is the least important. Responsibility is more important than self-assertion. Labor is more important than responsibility and self-assertion. Wisdom is even more important than labor, love, responsibility, rejection, and love at the very top. Wisdom is understood not as intellectual abilities, but rather as the reactions that a person uses in their life. In other words, it is again a manifestation through character. We consider the quality of people, and that is energy. So this has nothing to do with intellect, you understand?
So wisdom is some specific reactions, right?
Well, of course, it doesn't matter what it is. Resentment, I don't know, envy, judgment.
Wisdom has both resentment and envy, as well as judgment.
Wisdom is, no, if you do not have negative traits, you are a wise person. That is, you react positively to everything. Moreover, you are a happy person.
Well, just in my understanding, it seems that to be wise, You must have experienced everything in your life: anger, resentment, and rage.
No, these are all demonic things.
Haha. And what if a person is born?
And you are absolutely an angel.
Understood.
What have they done to you? Have they imposed a lifestyle on you where you dislike everything? The world of suffering, as Buddha said.
So, is it possible to not know at all what resentment, anger, conflicts, or grievances are?
Such people exist. They have already made themselves that way.
And can they be called wise?
Of course. We cannot increase the number of positive character traits because society does not allow us to do so. The number of positive traits does not increase. Negative traits can be removed, but it is impossible to increase the positive ones. It just doesn't work.
And why is that?
Society interferes. It demands, on the contrary, negativity.
Why is it beneficial for society that we have predominantly negative minds?
Well, because it is food for parasites. They feed on our negative emotions. Moreover, they have also implanted demons here to milk us. Just as ants milk aphids, they milk us in the same way. That is, they inhabit us and start all the time. They also feed on these emotions. They constantly provoke us towards the same negative character traits.
To summarize, what the new era will look like and what kind of people will live in this new time, these will be individuals who have no negative character traits at all. Yes, these will be people who have absolutely no negative character traits.
And the structure of society is also different, referred to as communal law. That is, for society to function properly, the governing systems must have feedback. Otherwise, it will be a dead system.
Friends, let's talk in more detail about the transition, the new era, and how everything will be organized, step by step. Lev talks about the transition in his lecture. We will leave all the links below the video. Go ahead and check them out. Leo, what recommendations would you give to our viewers for the near future?
Everyone is curious about what events will take place and when. I have a certain understanding that if a person is feeling bad right now, it means they are not ready for the new world, and they must take some measures in some way. If a person perceives everything more or less calmly, it means they are better prepared for what awaits them in the future. If you have negative reactions to everything that is happening, you are essentially in the old world. And they take your energy away because how is this world being destroyed? They take energy away. This means that they will also take energy away from you. If you live by the rules of the new world, on the contrary, you are given energy. And because of how your balance occurs, whether you deny or on the contrary, accept, you can feel how much of a person you are from one world or another. It is preferable that all reactions are positive. Then you will truly be already going, taking steps into a new world. If you react to everything in a panic and are tormented by your fears, this is a very common phenomenon, let's say. A person is worried about the fate of what will happen to his loved ones. Can he do anything in this area? Generally, God is in charge, right?
Well, overall, yes. Basically, nothing depends on us.
So what are you lacking?
Well, calm down.
Faith in the Creator that He will do everything as it should be.
Trust in what is happening.
He does everything as best as He can, right? So if you don't trust, then your heart will always tremble. What will happen with the mill boy? Because what is meant to be will be.
It's like you don't trust God, and you're trying to do everything on your own.
So who is here and who is to blame?
You don't believe in God.
A lack of faith, nothing more. Therefore, it is very important to behave correctly. Do not panic, fear nothing. Eliminate all fears. By the way, we have techniques to remove fears almost instantly. You just need to understand very precisely which specific fear it is and clearly formulate what you need to throw out of your consciousness. We have all these methods, so please make use of them.
I also heard that you have a course. Is the course about this? The course helps.
Well, actually, there is this course. We teach what I call how to live properly. That is, on one hand, getting rid of a person's negative emotions, and on the other hand, removing karma. Well, dealing with karma has become quite easy now because only the freshest, coolest failures and blunders remain. Either that means the old ones, which necessarily require repentance. In other words, one cannot remove everything without a person, but there are energies that have started to cleanse this matter. If you continue, as they say, to manifest negative energies, you are still destroying yourself. This needs to be understood. Because since you are the one building your world and you are at the center of it, you always start with yourself. Therefore, your attitude towards everything should be positive, towards everything. To accept other people as they are, and to accept yourself as you are, well, as one of my friends says, I can't. I can't love myself as I am. Well, if I fall in love, then I will get involved. I say that's wrong, it's the other way around. You need to love yourself first. And then if we want to do something, we have to take it into our own hands, right? But not to reject. And if I immediately reject, I will not accomplish anything.
Before loving others, one must love oneself.
Correct. Why? Because of how the world is structured. The Creator sends love into the world through each person. Well, imagine that it is a pipe through which He sends this love. So what? A person always receives exactly as much as they need. It's a flow. You can't accumulate anything there. And everything else is for people. From whom? From me. The Creator gives love to people through me. But if I do not love myself, I will cork this pipe and that's it. No one will know anything.
Lev, thank you. Thank you for this interview. And to you, friends, I want to remind you that we will leave all the links under the video for the lecture on transitioning to the course. Feel free to check it out, get acquainted, and participate. Thank you very much, Lev.
Thank you for your attention.
See you in the next videos. Until we meet again, goodbye, goodbye.